In today's video, we are taking a look at all the winter bikes option with Josh from Velo iBike. Hey, what's up, Josh?
How's it going?
Good, and you?
Yeah, real good.
So where are we today?
We're at the bike shop, Velo iBike, Montreal, located at 2101 Rue Rochelle, corner of Delormier and Rochelle. We've been in business for 12 years now. I've been riding bike in the winter for about 25 years, I guess.
Whoa. So you know a thing or two about winter riding.
I've rode in the winter, well, 25 winters.
So today here we have 8 bikes lined up, and we want to see all the upgrades that you can do on your bike to ride in the winter, to be comfortable, to be safe, and just to have a more enjoyable time. So Josh, why don't we get started with the level 1 bikes out here?
Levels of winter biking. Level 1 is your bike. You take your bike outside, you ride it in the winter. That's a winter bike.
That's true.
Any bike that you take outside on the street during the winter is a winter bike. But then from there you can modify it to make sure that, like Charles said, to make sure that your experience is more enjoyable. Upgrade number 2, tires. Fenders to keep you clean, dry. During the winter, even if it's not snowing, the streets are usually wet and slushy or dirty and salty. So Fenders is upgrade number 1. So you can go with your basic like off-road studded tire. Slipping and sliding in the winter is guaranteed gonna happen. So the better the tire, the less slipping and sliding that you're gonna have.
All right, so Josh, here we have our 2 most basic bikes. Tell us more about them.
These 2 bikes are basic. This one hasn't had any upgrades for winter. However, it does have a little bit of a wider tire, which is more stable, which is better for winter, but there's no treads on it. Whereas this one, as you can see, some thicker studs on it, which gives you more traction. Same concept as a mountain bike.
And what about the tire pressure when you're running in the winter? Do you want it lower or higher, or just like in the summer?
Tire pressure is pretty much like summer. I mean, if you've got a bigger, more higher volume tire, you can run lower pressures. But you still have to avoid flats. So having a tire pressure closer to the regulation for the tire is still kind of recommended.
Is there different types of fenders, or and how do they look like?
Multiple different types of fenders.
Yeah.
A full fender that connects to the fork and the frame.
Yep.
And covers full tire, front and back, is the best option that you can have. But lots of bikes don't have enough space to fit that fender inside underneath the frame between the tire, plus fit a higher volume tire in. So you can go to another type of fender, which is right here, which connects to the fork and then suspends, so it's not connected and doesn't have to run underneath the fork, but still gives a full level of protection. Third type of fender that you can have is just a seat post mounted fender like this one here, which is screw on, twist on. It's easy to come off and on. Make sure that you don't have theft. That's the most basic kind of fender you can have, which works winter, summer, anytime.
Just covered level 1, let's say level 2, which is tires and fenders. What could be another upgrade, another add-on to add comfort throughout the winter rides?
Third level is, like we said, is to up the level of tire to a studded tire. This one, if you get close, you can see that there's metal studs which grip onto the ice and give you even more traction. If you're going to have a studded tire, they're a little bit more expensive. In the front is where to go. If your front tire slides out on ice, you're going to fall. If your back tire slides out, you still got the chance to recover and maybe not fall. So if you're going to get one studded tire and invest in a tire, the front is the way to go. And then you've got the super fat bike tires that are also studded, super traction, super stable. I mean, you've got about a 3 to 4 inch platform of stability. So in terms of comfort and being stable in icy or snowy conditions, the fat bike is for sure the most comfortable and stable.
And speaking of the studded tires, could you add stud to your own tires, or you're better off buying tires who are already studded by the manufacturer?
For sure, you're better off to buy tires that are already studded by the manufacturer. However, you can put studs into your tire, but there's an ice race, the famous ice race that existed in Montreal. Hopefully it'll be back again this year, where you take and you screw screws from inside your tire towards the outside to have long screws that come out will grip the ice even better than the studs that come with the basic manufacturer's studded tire.
Got it.
But then you run a risk of flats, because the screws on the inside have a problem or have the tendency to pierce the tube and cause flats on a regular basis. So what ice riders have used as a way to combat that is to use a tubular tire as the tube.
Really? Whoa, a tubular as the tube, and then on top of the tubular tube you put that winter tire. That's crazy. Never heard about that before. Do you have a photo of it or something that you could find, or is that a secret that you just pull off?
That's an underground secret in terms of if you want to win the ice race, a tubular inside of your, because if you get a flat, you're done. You're not going to win the race.
Yeah.
You get a flat, you're done, and that happens to most people. The guys that have won in the past, that's what they do.
Got it. That's super interesting. And now, moving on, what will be the level 5 of riding into the winter? What do you add to your bike?
Level 5, we're looking at bar mitts. Bar mitts are a super extra feature that adds a lot of comfort. The wind in the winter, and your hands aren't really moving, if you're wearing gloves so that you can reach your brakes, the wind, etc., your hands are frozen, even if it's not that cold. So a set of bar mitts with your gloves inside of the bar mitts is a super added feature. Another thing that is highly recommended, especially with shorter days in the winter, is a set of lights front and rear to make sure that you're super visible, not only for cars, but for other cyclists and pedestrian. However, don't put your front light on super high beam or super high flash, because that actually works to the contrary and blinds other people as you're passing them, potentially causing accidents.
Got it.
That's the Karen moment of lights, winter lights right there.
So we briefly talk about stealth. Oops. So we briefly talk about stealth?
Theft.
So we briefly...
Let me do that. We briefly talk about theft.
So, okay, we got it now. So we briefly talk about theft. That was good enough for a French Canadian, huh? And do bar mitts are prone to be stolen?
For sure. Anything that is left on a bike that can be stolen will be stolen.
But they're fairly easy to take off, I guess, and put back.
There's a couple Velcro straps. They're not too hard to take off. But that's another thing about winter cycling. It's harder. Commuting in the winter is more difficult, costs a little bit more money. It's not as easy as riding in the summer. So there's a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, a little bit more money involved, and you have to be ready to commit to that kind of a situation. However, it's still cheaper than a Metro Pass at $70 a month. It's still cheaper than licensing a car. Plus, you're going to the gym at the same time. You can drop the gym membership.
So Josh, we just reached level number 5. Can you just give us a little roundup of what is a perfect 5?
Perfect 5 would be this bike right here. Bar mitts, full fenders, studded tire in the front, a non-metal studded tire in the rear, so like a mountain bike style tire, and bar mitts. This would be a number 5. The way you can jump up to a number 6 would be to have more of a performance bike. So, this bike is your basic 3x7 bike, aluminum in the $500 to $700 range, and then you just upgrade the bike. You go for something that's a little bit lighter, a little bit more performance, a little bit more smoother to ride in terms of the number of gears and shifting, etc. That would jump you up to a number 6.
And we haven't talked about braking yet, but disc brake, rim brake, cantilever brakes, what's the difference between all of them, if there's any difference for the winter riding?
Braking is the same as in the summer, where you're braking in dry versus wet conditions. So disc brakes for sure are going to be the most consistent, reliable type of braking system that you can have. However, rim brakes, if you keep your brake pads in good condition, new condition, making sure that your cables are sliding smoothly. With the winter weather and salt and wetness, corrosion happens at a higher rate than in the summer. So just making sure that your things are clean and running smooth. They're all going to work in the winter, but like I said, the whole rim brake versus disc brake debate, disc is a more efficient, more reliable braking system. Jumping up to the number 7, ultimate bike. I haven't had the experience to try it, but studded tires, full fender, bar mitts, lights, and throw a motor on that. An electric motor.
All right, Josh, we now realize that you do know a lot about winter bike, but why don't you show us your little commuter for winter?
It's right there. This is an old custom groove track frame that was built sur mesure for myself about 12 years ago, that I'm still riding in the winter. It's been, I think this thing's seen about 7 or 8 winters now.
Got it.
I've thrown on some fenders that are fork attached and frame attached, a studded tire in the front. My back tire is just your regular 25 summer tire with flat protection, but I can't put a bigger tire. As you can see, that the clearance isn't quite there. I've got a light in the rear. I've got a light in the front. I've got a bigger set of bar mitts that the ones that kind of material level bar mitts.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a fixed gear too. So I got a brake in the front though. It saves a lot of energy to have a brake in the front, so you're not stopping yourself with your feet. I used to ride full fixed in the winter as well, but I'm not 25 anymore.
Cool. And we also have here the bike of Felix, one of the top mechanics here. Why don't you? What's different about his setup here?
Felix has a 1x situation with 8 speeds in the rear. He's got a bigger set of fenders as he has a little bit more clearance, double studded tire, and that's pretty much the difference between his. He's got the speeds though. I mean, that in terms of like easy winter riding, having a few speeds, being able to change gears as you're going up and down hills, makes it a lot easier. And he's got the full winter boot clipped in setup going on. I've never had the pleasure of trying those kind of boots. I mean, they're pretty expensive.
They are.
So I've never pulled the plug on that one. I've got fully waterproof boots, but not clipped in.
And Josh, for the people who see this video and they come into the store, do you have a little treat for them?
Sure.
Little bro deal?
Sure. We'll say 10% off.
10%?
Yeah, 10% off on a bike that you're kitting out for the winter. 10% off on some parts or accessories that winterize your bike. 10% off.
Cool. Is that 10%?
That's 10%.
So all you need to do is come into the store, say, hey, I've watched Charles' video and here I am. They get 10%. That's that easy?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it. Say, I love Charles.
All right. Thank you, Josh. That's appreciated.
We're fully equipped with all the parts and bikes and everything needed to ride in the winter, and we'll be more than happy to talk a little bit about your specific needs relative to winter riding and your concerns, and help you get onto a bike that's going to get you places in the winter.
We want to do another video, which is going to be the following up video of this one.
Winter cycling is a bit of a 3-part series where number 1 is the bikes and what you need in order to have your bike ready for winter. Number 2 is the clothing related to winter cycling, which is super important to enjoying your commute from A to B. Every 3, 4, 5 degrees temperature change makes a big difference in how you prepare yourself for the ride of the day. And the last big set of information is how to maintain and keep your bike in good working condition, as the winter is much harder on your bike. On average, the 3 months of winter will cost you in repairs and maintenance will cost you about the same as the 8 or 9 months of summer, spring, fall riding.
All right, so these videos will go live on my YouTube channel in the next couple of weeks and months. So if you want to stay tuned for those videos, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video with all the information shared by Josh today, leave a thumbs up and go check out Veloy Bike website, Veloy Bike Instagram. They also have the racing team page. Check all of these out. So that's it. Thank you, Josh. Cheers, man. My name is Charles, and I will see you guys on the road or into the next video. Peace.